In this video, we are going to show you how to install your ratio dropper lever. The lever is compatible with SRAM 11-speed and SRAM 12-speed mechanical left-hand shifters, but the installation process is slightly different for the two shifters, so please make sure you follow the correct video. This video is for 12-speed levers. In your kit, you will find the ratio dropper lever and spool, flexible shift housing, standard shift housing, inline adjuster, double-ended housing connector, inner cable, housing end caps and cable crimp. For 12-speed only, you will also find shifter axle and removal screw, shifter axle retention screw, replacement shifter cover, T6 driver bit. In addition to your ratio kit, you'll need the following tools: cable cutters, a screwdriver for use with replaceable 1/4-inch hex bits, small Phillips crosshead screwdriver, 5mm hex key, 3mm hex key, 2mm hex key, Now, remove your bar tape to access the left-hand shifter and use the 5mm hex key to remove the shifter from the bars. Roll the rubber shifter hood back and slide it off the body of the shifter. Fit the T6 bit into your 1/4-inch screwdriver. Now remove the two T6 screws from the shifter cover and lift the cover off. You'll need to move the brake hose to unhook the cover from underneath. Slide the top of the lever into the seat in the spool. With the two parts slotted together as shown, push the lever into the shifter body. In this step, take care to make sure the leg of the spring fits into the slot in the shifter housing. Holding the lever in one hand, slide the shifter axle through the assembly. Make sure that the axle removal screw is still installed. You might need to wiggle the lever and spool assembly to help the axle through, particularly when pushing the axle into the hole in the far end of the shifter housing. Once the axle is pushed home, take the axle removal screw out. Now use the cross head screwdriver to install the axle retention screw. The screw is self-tapping, so you need to make sure it's aligned with the hole in the housing, then apply some pressure to allow it to tap the threads. Looking into the axle hole, you should see the screw pass behind the axle. If you don't, the axle isn't pushed far enough, so you should repeat the previous step. Next, you need to adjust the reach on your dropper lever. Use the 2mm hex key to adjust the reach screw. When the lever is released, there should be a small gap between your dropper lever and the back of the brake lever. Route the standard outer cable through your frame and cut it to end roughly in line with the bar tape on your handlebars. Fit the inner cable to the dropper according to the manufacturer's instructions. Note that the dropper lever will perform best with posts that use a high spring return force, such as 1-up. Now thread the adjuster or the double-ended housing connector onto your inner cable, according to your preference. If necessary, cut the flexible outer to length, then slide this onto your inner cable. We've included this outer to reduce potential cable drag around the tight bends at the handlebars. Remember to run the cable through the rubber shifter hood, then thread the cable through the shifter body. Use a 3mm hex key to loosen the cable clamp bolt. Pull the cable tight, Flick it behind the clamp bolt and then tighten the bolt. Remember, you can always access the cable clamp bolt later to make adjustments. Once you're happy with the function of the post, run the spare inner cable around the lever. Acute the lever and pull it back to reveal the cable routing tab. Pass the cable behind this, then run it through the groove in the lever. Cut the cable flush with the bottom of the lever. Crimp the cable end in place and slot the cable into the trap at the bottom of the lever. Check that the motion of the lever isn't restricted by the cable. Now fit your ratio shifter cover. It's important that you use this cover as the original one will restrict the movement of your lever. Reinstall the two T6 screws in the new cover. Refit the handlebar clamp bolt and roll the rubber hood back onto the shifter. Slide the shifter back onto the handlebars, clamp in place and re-tape the bars. If you need to adjust or re-cable your dropper lever in the future, you can do it without removing the shifter from the bars. Roll the hood away from the front of the shifter and you'll be able to access the cable and the cable clamp bolt. Lastly, check the operation of your dropper and make sure the brake lever is working as normal. Now you're ready to ride.